Hi, we're here to talk about NetBackup and the disaster recovery capabilities within the product. And Jason, you're going to talk through some of those capabilities.
I am. Yeah, great. Thanks, Gareth. So NetBackup and Disaster Recovery, there's a lot of capabilities that NetBackup offers. So first of all, architecturally, NetBackup is a 3-tiered application. So you have our master server, we have our media server, and we have our clients. These are the machines, physical or virtual, that we're going to protect. So here we have representing Site A and Site B. This could be a remote office location. This could be a central site, data center headquarters. These sites are represented across a WAN link. This could be any number of different connectivity points. So NetBackup, there's a couple different capabilities that we have. First one I'll talk about is what's called AIR, Auto Image Replication. So from the master server, we have the ability, leveraging our storage lifecycle policies, we can actually replicate the backup images from one domain, one NetBackup domain, or one site to a secondary site, and that's called auto image replication. First do a backup here, then replicate those backup images to the remote site. AIR, and then we have what's called targeted AIR, which is specific to a storage server. So these technologies support different topologies, so one to many, many to one. So if you had multiple different NetBackup domains that you wanted to protect in the case of disaster recovery, AIR is a great example of that. Second thing I'll talk about is catalog backups. So the catalog that resides here on the master server is essential to the NetBackup operations. It's a database. It controls the functions of which backups are being performed to which media. So it's essential that you do catalog backups on a very frequent basis. This could be every day. This could be multiple times a day, depending on your environment. Catalog backups are a crucial part. Another thing to talk about is SLPs, storage lifecycle policies. So I already talked about it in the auto image replication scenario, which is SLPs is managing the lifecycle of an image from the time it's created to the time it's expired. So storage lifecycle policies offer a lot of flexibility when it comes to disaster recovery in a multi-site environment. The other thing I want to emphasize is the 3-2-1 rule. So in typical disaster recovery conversations, you want to have 3 copies of the data on 2 different physical medias. Maybe this is disk, maybe this is an appliance or tape, and then one of them is off-site. So best practices around disaster recovery, 3-2-1 rule, and that applies to a lot of different things.
So Jason, one quick question. So you've been talking specifically about this being the primary site and this being the secondary site. In actual fact, they could both act as primary and secondary sites to each other, couldn't they?
Yes, absolutely. We have the ability through NetBackup to replicate bidirectionally. So replicate in this, I'm representing Site A and Site B, but to Gareth's point, we can absolutely bidirectionally replicate. From disaster recovery, recoverability, so I already talked about the 3-tiered application. So the master server, it does hold the catalog, does hold the database. It's very important that you back up those configurations. If you have media servers or multiple media server environments, depending upon how big the environment is, you want to make sure you protect those configurations as well. And then, for example, if you're doing catalog recovery, NetBackup has capabilities through the GUI as well as command line to recover the catalog. The other thing I want to mention is if you're doing tape backup, NetBackup Vault is a great way to manage and report on tape copies and which tapes go off-site.
Okay, thanks, Jason. That's fantastic. So, I mean, obviously, disaster recovery, high availability, really important to customers. But that's a great overview, I guess, of what NetBackup can do to help.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to mention is from a recoverability perspective, as these clients are being backed up, we can restore it to the original location or alternate location if we wanted to do a redirect and restore. So, once again, NetBackup and its robust architecture and capabilities offer a lot around the disaster recovery scenario.
And very flexible as well.
Very flexible.
Okay, thank you very much, Jason. That's great.